Welcome to Drink Wine Be Crafty. I'm Megan. Today I'll be showing you a feather ornament tutorial. This will probably be one of a few different designs, but I love this one. This one's my favorite so far, so I couldn't wait to show you guys. The one I'm making today is going to be a little bit smaller. This one is right at, from top to bottom, it's like 9 inches. The one I'm going to make is a couple inches smaller than that. The supplies that you're going to need, the rope that I'm using, if you didn't check out the video where I talk about how I get the rope the size that I do, I will post that in the description box below. Now obviously this template is not the size. I just drew out the design I like so I would have it with me and kind of know which direction I'm going in, which helps at the end when you're doing the trimming. You will need the center piece of cord, which is about 9 inches long. You'll need 50 pieces of cord 5 inches long. And you'll need a paintbrush because you're going to be using some glue, so you'll need a paintbrush, a little bowl, and some glue. This is glue that I have already had on hand from the Dollar Tree. You'll need a really good sharp pair of scissors because that's super important whenever you're cutting, that they're extra sharp. Now if you're going to do 2 different colors, then you'll need 40 pieces of the first color and 10 pieces of the second color. So we're going to start off by tying on the first piece of cord. We're going to do it right at 2.5 inches down, so they all match and it's just easy to get it. You can move it around once you've tied it on, but grab your first piece of rope, fold it in half, and we're going to put it under the strand here, and then the second piece of cord you're going to fold in half, and then you're going to put the ends of the first one through the loop, and then you're going to put the ends of the second one through the other side. And that is the majority of this project, is doing that over and over again. And you want to pull it really tight and keep the center cord straight so it doesn't want to turn and flip. But I'm going to show you guys one more time, and I'm going to make sure it's 2.5 inches. I've been making a lot of different ones and I want them to all be the same length. But we're going to do that one more time, and then once you do the 40 pieces of color 1, then you'll do the same thing with the 10 pieces of color 2, and I'll show you what we're going to do after that. Now that we're finished with that, I'm just going to kind of tighten it just a little bit. I actually didn't leave myself enough rope. I told you guys to cut yours a little bit longer because you're going to need to tie a knot. You can tie an overhand knot, or you can just tie a little knot like this so that way it doesn't come apart. And I forgot to tell you at the beginning of the video, you're going to need a comb. I use a comb. I've seen other people use pet brushes for this part, but I just have a little comb. My daughter broke it. It cost $1, bought it at the Dollar General, and it works perfectly. Now it's a little bit tricky, and this cord does get a little messy, so I'm going to get off my black surface here. But just start combing it, and it will take a pretty good bit of combing before it'll stop curling up. So just patiently comb it out, and eventually it'll be nice and straight and fluffy. Now this is the step we will be adding our first layer of glue, and you want to brush the strands down, get it in the position that you're going to want them to be in. Try to get as much of the fuzz, it gets really fuzzy, try to get as much of that off as possible before you apply the glue. This kind of hard bristle brush, I got it for $1. I think I got it in a pack with a bunch of them, and it works perfectly. Also, I either got it at the Dollar Tree or Dollar General, but you want to first not put a lot of glue on the brush itself, and then really, really lightly brush it on there. You almost, because we are going to add more than one layer of this, you don't want to put a lot on at all, because you can see it and it gets kind of clumps up the strands, and I don't want that. You don't want that. You want it to look natural. And once you have done that, just let it dry and we'll come back and we'll start trimming and shaping. My first layer of glue has dried. You almost can't even tell I put glue on it. It's a very, very thin layer, but it does help keep everything in place. Now, this template that I have, obviously you can see if I was to cut it and follow the template, the strands would be way too close to the center knots. So I just use it to help me see the shapes, and the first cut that I'm going to do is going to be just a tiny bit to just get the initial shape. So the thing about this particular design is, you know, you can keep cutting and keep shaping it until you get it just how you want it. If you cut too much off, then there's no turning back. So I like to just take my time and do a little bit at a time. Alright, now we are going to do a second layer of glue the exact same way we did before, super thin, and let it dry. Now that the front has dried, we're actually going to flip it over, straighten out the back, and put a thin layer of the glue on the back side as well. Just make sure all of your strands are straightened out without combing through the front side where the glue is already on there. But just apply a thin layer of glue on this one and let this side dry as well. Alright y'all, let's get this thing shaped. So this is where the template comes in handy. Even though I'm not going to cut it exactly along the lines of it, I am going to cut, the positioning of it is going to be very similar. So I'm going to lay it here and just the same way I did the first trimming, just cut a little bit off at a time and start shaping it. And I need to get off of this black and put it on something else. With the trimming and the shaping, there's really no way to describe or break it down for you guys other than to just show you. So here we go with the shaping of the feather. Now that I've finished shaping it, I'm going my feather is complete, and I'm actually going to add a little bead at the top. You can do this at the very end. I just use a yarn needle or in my case, my yarn needle is a little bit too big, so I'm going to use a yarn needle and probably a safety pin just to push it through, and it goes on so tightly that it's not going to fall off, so I'm not going to tie a knot to keep the bead on, because it'd be pretty hard for it to come off. And if you haven't already, guys, make sure to subscribe and hit the like button on this video. I will be back with more feathers, more ornaments, more Christmas, and I hope that you guys like this design. Actually, give me some feedback. Let me know what you think, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.